this Italian vibe we got going on. This degenerative neurological disease I have has brought me back to my childhood dream. 4 riders down a course, high intensity, high risk, high consequences. I'm going to be going as fast as I can.
Davey, huge congratulations. What does it feel like to be selected?
I'm in cloud 9. I'm almost beyond words. I've been trying to compete, get the points I need to get in a position for selection for, it's about 18 months now. But the fact I found out 3 weeks before the game started, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm riding that roller coaster today.
And you're going to be the first athlete for ParalympicsGB winter or summer to be selected who has MND. How does that make you feel?
When I was diagnosed with MND in 2018, you know, my outlook looked pretty bleak. You know, the average lifespan from diagnosis is between 2 to 3 years. So the fact that, you know, I'm living 7 years on with this condition, a full life, yes, with my challenges, and everyone in the Paralympic community has their own challenges, but I live with mine. But the fact I can now represent the neurological community, the motor neuron disease community on a global platform, it fills me with emotion and incredible pride. Let's end MMD.
And you've also been using your platform from a charity perspective as well. Are you hoping to be able to continue to elevate that during the course of the Games?
Absolutely. You know, I've done a lot of fundraising. I became very close friends with the late, great Doddy Weir and all the amazing work his charity has done, which I've been flying the flag for the last few years. You know, 1 in 300 people in the UK can be diagnosed with motor neuron disease. It's not incurable, it's just underfunded. And if I can use my platform to raise awareness across the world, across the UK, the closer we all are to finding a cure.
And snowboarding was part of your life before. So tell us about your relationship with the sport and how it's maybe changed a little bit.
Me and my twin brother, my brothers, were lifelong snowboarders. I learned in Edinburgh dry slope, learning the jump, getting lots of broken wrists and arms growing up. And I got to a stage after school, in fact I left school early to go away snowboarding, and I got to a competitive level in freestyle. And then a knee injury took me away from the slope, but there's a tragic beauty, the fact that this degenerative neurological disease I have has brought me back to my childhood dream of being a snowboarder.
Davey.
I'm here training with Team GB on this amazing border cross track, and I'm putting my body in uncharted territory here.
And what are your competitions looking like in Cortina? What are your hopes and expectations?
You know, I'm aiming high. You know, I'm in the team now. I'm aiming high. We've got border cross, which is the greatest spectator sport. 4 riders down a course of bank turns, jumps, rollers, high intensity, high risk. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the opening weekend of the Paralympics. On the 14th is bank slalom, and this is you against the clock down the bank turns, and of course I'm going to be going as fast as I can.
What are you going to be thinking when you stand on the top of that run waiting for the go in Cortina?
You know, I've learned a lot about myself as a competitor, an athlete, a snowboarder this last year of racing. I used to be really rallied up and full of adrenaline and just like I'm ready to fight. I now know that when I do the best snowboarding, I am as calm, cool, collected, in the zone, in the zen place. So in the starting gate, I hope to be as calm and as cool as possible, because I know that's when I can deliver my best results.
Kelly Gallagher has taken the gold medal. Great Britain's first ever gold medal at the Paralympic Winter Games.
I was with Kelly Gallagher yesterday. I was the little girl who saw her on TV, so it's definitely quite surreal, but it's very cool.
Hester, you've been competing internationally since you were 12, so you're well drilled, but you actually started competing with your brother.
Yeah, not him. He came in later. But yeah, so I competed with my brother Benji for quite a long time, which is quite convenient. I felt like the sibling bond really like helped, something I don't have with him.
Yeah, I can try, but
yeah,
it's not gonna
I'd rather you didn't. Now I've got this.
Handsome young man over here. How unhinged do we want to go?
Let's break the internet.
Please be yourselves. We'd love it.
You don't want that.
Just to get like good angles.
If I lie back, I feel like that makes me feel like lazy. Well, this is on Channel 4 now, so.
Ali, how has it been for you getting into guiding, and how is it working with this young lady?
Oh, I mean, she has to put up with my chat, so so at the moment it's fine. It's great.
What is the chat like then on the mic when you're skiing, and how far ahead is he able to get before you can't actually see him at all?
There's definitely lots of chat, especially on Ali's end. I hear everything, and in terms of like a visual perspective, it's different for everyone. But for me, I'm like using like a combination of audio and visual cues. So I'd say he could probably get a good like 10, 15 metres away before he's like lost to the world for me. But that's why he wears his lovely
bright pink catsuit,
especially requested by me. Yeah. So that keeps him nice and visual.
The beard as well.
Yeah, really complimented. It's quite fast-paced because, I mean, Ali's job is, like, he has to focus on his own skiing whilst also thinking 10 metres behind him, which is quite difficult. So if you think of, like, a slalom course, it's really, like, turn. It's, like,
Tough on the vocal cords.
Yeah.
And has that communication gone wrong at all?
Yeah, it's had its fair shares of
Yeah.
mix-ups, stuff like that.
I've made a few trips into the off-piste before.
Yeah,
A few little ice baths that I didn't ask for.
You're not quite the youngest, but you're one of the youngest on the team. How is it balancing life as an 18-year-old? What's it like?
So I'm still sort of in school. I'm finishing up my A-levels at the minute and applying to university. So it's a lot. I mean, I won't pretend it isn't a lot. And Ali can say the same thing because he's in the last year of his degree. So it's tricky. It's tricky, but I think as an athlete, you just make sacrifices. We've decided that this is what we're doing. So you just make it work.
Any messages to young girls who are perhaps experiencing life with visual impairment, contemplating sport? What do you hope that your experience as a young 18-year-old at the Paralympics might give to them?
I went to like mainstream school my whole life. Like it's an environment where you kind of think that you're doing it alone, and I hope that if a like little girl turns on the TV and sees me, that they can just go, you know what, that as daft as it is to not be able to see anything and still throw myself down a mountain, I hope that it gives them confidence and just the kind of like willpower to go, you know what, might as well give something a go, just get out there and try something.
So when we look at the legacy of women's VI Alpine, we've got Kelly, we've got Menna, and now we've got Hester. That's really exciting, isn't it?
Passing on the baton, I guess. Hope I don't drop it.
I'm sure you won't. We'll be there cheering you every step of the way. We can't wait to see you in Cortina.
Thank
Hester.
you.
Ali, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you very much.
The closer we get to the games that you've said is going to be your last, are you having second thoughts?
Second thoughts. I wouldn't have a wife if I carry on.
Would you think this being your last event, does that put more pressure on?
Nah, less. Like the outcome, like before you're always worried about funding, support, blah, blah, blah. I've got nothing. I can just go and enjoy myself and hopefully put on a good show.
James, thank you for joining us. This is your third Paralympic Games. What are the emotions like? Because you've had rather big news in the last 3 months.
Yeah. I'm stoked. I can't wait to get there, but I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I've been a bit busy.
And tell us why you've been busy, because it's life-changing.
Yeah. My wife gave birth to our daughter nearly 3 months ago. It's certainly been different. Like normally I go to the gym at this time, I do this, I train here, I sleep here, and now I sleep when I can, eat when I can, and train when I can, basically. Sort of just try and fit it in around Thea, my daughter.
And as well as becoming a father, you've had quite a rocky ride, if you like, in the run-up. You've had to qualify in a lot of pain. You want to explain what's happened to you a couple of years ago?
Yeah, so not last season, the season before, I broke my back, done 2 vertebrae, which is fine. I just had to recover. But then after that, my hips were a bit out of line and a bit of impingement. So, yeah, I had to ride through pain last season just to qualify and get all of that done. And then I checked into the rehab unit straight after, literally the week after we finished competing. Got tested and done all the plan and then worked really hard all summer. And then, yeah, I'm now riding pain-free and doing all right.
So top 5 was your best result out in Beijing in 2022.
Yeah.
But you crashed in that event as well.
Yeah.
Big incident there, and JBM's gone down.
How does that affect your preparations? Are you mentally thinking about what you should be doing differently, or is it just an unfortunate race incident?
At the time, I didn't feel like it was a race incident, but I'm sure it was. But yeah, I haven't really been thinking about it. I've just been focused on myself and getting in a good shape and having as much good training as we can in the build-up to the games.
What does training look like for that sort of event? Because the race incidents do and can happen.
And for that, we spend a lot of time on the course, racing with other people, lots of different people. So we do a lot of camps with different nations. And just having that time and learning that race trade, I suppose, putting ourselves in different situations and just learning how to react to them and putting yourself in the right place so it doesn't happen. But then anything can happen on the day, you know. So
always look forward to the games in Cortina. Is it a place that you've raced at before?
Yeah, we raced there 3 years ago, I think. And I got a gold and a silver, so I can't wait to get back on that track.
So when you think about Cortina, what does success look like for James?
Like, this is what I've been saying, and from this whole season, I've just wanted to enjoy myself. For me, it's my last games, so I want to enjoy it and take everything in, and hopefully if I'm enjoying myself and I'm relaxed, hopefully I do well. So for me, as long as I'm enjoying myself and riding good, I'll be stoked.
We're really hoping you put on a good show, James. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Well done.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Easy?
That's it.
Sweet.
Hello.
Hello. Feel short now.
Well, you're definitely taller than me. I had a pretty severe motorcycle accident in September 2021. I broke my back at T2, so I'm paralysed from the armpits down. That wasn't the only injuries, it was internal bleeding, I broke every rib, my sternum, left femur, right radius. I was pretty much smashed to pieces. I ended up falling into pretty deep, dark depression because your life had changed forever. Gone from a business owner to then sitting looking out the window going, is this how it turns out for me?
But in 2022, did you know the Paralympics existed?
Yes and no. I was never really massively into sport beforehand, so watching even the Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games wasn't really something I even followed, to be honest. I wasn't really massively into anything other than football.
And what made you think that you would turn to curling if football was your life before motorbikes were your life? Where did curling come into that?
I met a lad in hospital and he put us in touch with one of the other ParalympicsGB curlers, Stuart Pimblett. And Stuart is one of these type of people that doesn't take no for an answer. So he was like, "Are you going to come curling?" I was like, "Aye, go on then." And I was like, "Well, how am I going to get there?" And he was like, "I'll pick you up." And I was like, "Righto, no worries." And from then he picked me up week in, week out, took us up to Dumfries curling, and it just went from there, really. The lads and lasses in the wheelchairs showed us how to live a life again. Sounds weird, but when you're in hospital, you kind of get shown the basics on how to get dressed, to do this, to do that, a couple of transfers to get in and out of a car. And then before you know it, you're with everyone from either a similar background or they've been in a wheelchair most of their lives. And they're like, "No, you're doing that wrong. How's about you do this? Try this, try that, try this." And then before you know it, like, you're actually living life again. So it was like a massive part of rehab. And it was just brilliant, really. Like, you wouldn't think that there was a lot of like kick-offs in curling, and there is, and I love that.
But you're going to put your name into history as part of the first team from Great Britain to represent the country in the Paralympics in the mixed doubles. How much does that excite you?
It's mental you even saying that we are literally making history, because mixed doubles events never been in the Paralympics before, and it's me and Jo, and I couldn't think of a better person to be doing it with.
All right.
She is so strong in what she believes in, and we both just want to win. Unlucky world when you come up against me and Jo. Unlucky. You can't rewrite history. So forever and a day now, it's going to be Jason Keane and Jo Butterfield in 2026 represented Great Britain in the mixed doubles in Milano Cortina. It's just crazy. I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is actually going around the village, but like to get into the arena as well. The arena just looks so pristine. The ice looks perfect. I'm actually going there. And I said to Stu, and I was like, mate, we're going out there and we're actually going to be smashing people on that ice. I said, I cannot wait, you know, and I just hope that we do the country proud, hope we do ourselves proud, and I hope we bring back some lovely shiny metal. Similar to yours would be nice. I would take other metal, but I am going for the gold.
Jo, welcome. This is the build-up to your third Paralympic Games, but you weren't always a winter athlete. Tell us where you started.
So yeah, I started in the summer. I did Rio and Tokyo as I used to throw a thing called the club, which is a bit like a wooden bat. Not many people have heard of it. I think if you look behind, you might see me in the corner there, throwing the club, and I did that for 2 Paralympic Games.
Oh, Jo, that is wonderful!
And the very first Paralympic Games throwing the club was remarkable because you came home with a gold medal.
I look at these photos and it brings back good memories. You know, I remember the crowd in Rio. It's loud.
Another great result for Great Britain. Joanna Butterfield, she has managed a world record.
I love it. I thrive under that, you know, environment. Tokyo was a disappointing Paralympics for me. It had been a tough build-up. Obviously, it was post-COVID. I broke my arm a couple of months before the Games. Came fourth, and I did as well as I could, and I was happy with what I'd done, but I wasn't ready to finish. And then about 2 months later, I found out that the event had been taken out of the programme for the Paralympic Games, and it wasn't going to be in Paris. And it was a bit of a shock, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, what do I do now? That's like, it's my life, it's my job, it's everything that I do. And I wasn't ready to give up. I wasn't ready to stop.
It sounds like a huge adjustment, and you go from a sport where you measured on metres, you measured in world records, as you had in Rio. How has the change of how you measure been an adjustment as well? Because it's now millimetres,
yep.
And it's tiny amounts, but it's also the finesse of throwing. It is quite different to the finesse of throwing a club because it's not as gung-ho, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I say as an athlete, I look at the pictures and it makes me happy, but it was all about faster, further, stronger. You know, everything was just about as much as you could. And I remember when I first came into curling, I threw the curling stone as far as I could, and it was always out the back. It was never in the rings. It was hard and it was bouncing off the back. That was my easy. So actually learning to, you know, maybe take it a little bit easier. Learning how to be more refined with it. That's been the hard part for me. It was the end of 2022 when I first tried wheelchair curling, and I've not looked back since.
Now you're going from summer and sun cream to winter and thermals. What were the emotions there?
It was a challenge. Like, yeah, I love being out in the sunshine, throwing. I'm always cold. Ice was not somewhere that, and I never knew anything about curling. I was also, the big one was I was going from an individual sport to a team sport. It's very different. I only had to rely on myself. Whereas in a team, you're actually, what's that person doing? Or, you know, how are they working? Are they putting the same hours that I'm in? And it's kind of hard to sort of battle with that at first. But then I've also seen the other side of it. I've also seen how teammates can really help you. After my first season, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But it's the team that got me through that. So being able to turn up to training each week, even though I wasn't able to compete, and have them treat me the same, have a bit of banter, know they've got my back, and that's the only time I actually didn't think about having cancer. So I think that really taught me that team sport has a lot of beauty with it as well.
And you talk about coming into a team. Jason is a first-time Paralympian. What's it been like? What's he like as a person to work with?
Oh, he's unreal. Like, he is a ball of energy. He's high, he's low, he's all, you know, he is excitable. He's a little puppy, to be honest. But he's great fun. I have never loved curling as much until I started curling with Jason. And I think he'll say the same. We're quite similar in many ways, in that we've both been through a traumatic injury, and, you know, sport has been a bit of a saviour for us and a real avenue to sort of continue. But we're also fiercely competitive. Like, we want to win every game we play, and I love that about him.
And do you think the aim is to be the first to win gold in both?
That's the aim. That's the aim when I started. I started athletics wanting to win a gold medal, and I started curling wanting to win a gold medal, and to be the first to get one in each would be pretty cool.
Neil, welcome. Second Paralympics, and in your first Paralympics, you were in 5 events, all with your brother. Did you two fall out and you had to bring Rob in? Your brother Andrew obviously sat next to you.
No, it was a bit more of a sort of strategic choice. I mean, it did also stem from an injury from Andrew. Yeah, we sort of made the choice that Rob would come in on the slalom and giant slalom and guide me there, and then that would allow Andrew to focus on the Super G and downhill. It allows both of them to focus on the disciplines they are guiding me.
Here comes Simpson, and he's in by 0.4 of a second.
That was phenomenal, and he might have taken the gold, you know. He might have taken the gold.
And you won gold in Beijing in 2022. Which event was that in?
That was in the Super G, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's probably one of my favourite disciplines. It's got a wee bit more of a technical side, but you're still carrying a lot of speed, so it's quite exciting.
And having Andrew as your guide and winning gold together, I mean, your parents just must have been beside themselves. What was that like when you crossed the finish line?
Yeah, so I mean, we crossed the line, and then I looked up at the board and saw we were sitting in first, and said to Neil, and then it was just a waiting game of seeing who was still to come down behind us and see if anyone else could pip us. No, managed to stay in first, and yeah, just delighted with it.
So tough, yeah.
How do you get the balance right between supportive brother, not arguing as siblings do, and trying to make sure that you make the right choice, because in the heat of the moment in elite sport, it can be difficult, can't it?
I think on race day, both of us do try not to push each other's buttons too much. I think it's a good tool for training to try and push each other. But I think on race day, sort of keeping things a bit more in check, making sure we're both ready to race. Yeah, it works quite nicely.
And that's the event you'll compete together?
Yes, so I'll guide Neil in downhill and Super G, and then Rob will take the baton for the rest.
And how does that feel, Rob, coming into a team, family, and taking the reins in a technical event like you are?
It's quite niche, I guess, but I mean, with my sort of technical background when I was growing up, in my career as an individual skier as well, I'm sort of I'm obviously learning a lot from them too, with communication and things like that, because that was alien to me. All I knew was just skiing individual sport, and then suddenly it's become a team sport. So yeah, I've learned a lot of that information from them, and then obviously I'm sort of trying to utilise my strengths and help the boys out as well in the slalom and giant slalom events as well.
When you think about the games coming up, what does success look like?
I'd say it's just if we can perform to the best of our abilities, then that's all we can control, and then we see what results that will bring.
Well, we can't wait to see you all in action and cheer you on from the sidelines or from the bottom of the mountain.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for joining us.
There's another brilliant bronze for Great Britain. A piece of history here for Great Britain. This is a brilliant run from Nana Fitzpatrick. Is there to be a fourth medal here in Pyeongchang for the teenager? Nana Fitzpatrick, gold.
We hear about Menna Fitzpatrick, the most successful Winter Paralympian, the most decorated. How does that make you feel?
It's weird, to be honest. You never think of ever having the opportunity to get to that stage, but a bit odd still, people calling me that. I'm just me, doing my sport that I love.
How excited are you at the prospect of a third Paralympic Games, but also your first with Katie?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, we've been working together for the past 5 years, but this will be our first games together, which is, yeah, really exciting, and I'm finally managed to get there.
Because, of course, last time you were kept out of the village because of the COVID situation. That must have just been so devastating.
Yeah, I don't think the bags actually left the house. So, yeah, no, it was a very unfortunate situation, but no more COVID. It's a clean slate. I'm ready to go.
And the build-up to every Games is always different, but your build-up over the last couple of years has been particularly challenging.
Yes.
What has happened?
I unfortunately broke my left tibia in October 24, and yeah, unfortunately, I was out for the whole season, had surgery, and I got back, did loads of training during the summer, was feeling really, really good, did one race, and then unfortunately tore my ACL. So it meant that we've done one race in 2 years. Yeah, the run up to this Games hasn't been ideal, let's just say that, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident now. Been skiing indoors for the last few weeks, and then yeah, finally be able to get out and ski on the Poppy Mountains.
And how do those training runs replicate what you're going to need when you're out on the mountains? Does it help? Are the runs long enough?
No, maybe not long enough. I think we're so lucky to have Manchester and the ski centre down there, because it's been good just getting the comms dialed back in, and
yeah,
actually there's a lot you can still learn, and getting the routine of getting boots on, getting back on snow, and I think that's really important, and getting sort of warm-ups dialed back in.
And has this changed your perspective of what it means to be able to represent your country? Because there was a moment, presumably before Christmas, where you thought it might all be taken away from you.
Yeah, definitely. Like I sat there, like the doctor saying, yeah, you've torn your ACL, and me not knowing enough about that, because I was like, oh no, so gutted. I was more gutted for Katie, to be honest, rather than me, because like I've been able to go to the Games and experience that, and I was like, God, really sorry for Katie. I really hope I could go.
Do you allow yourself to think beyond the Games? Have you thought about what is afterwards, or are you very much focused on what's happening in the next few weeks?
Well, that's a great question. I have got this like overarching plan of like I would really like to go to France in 4 years, as well. So I've got that big goal, and then I'm like, then it's these Games in the next like few weeks, and then I'm like, right, I'm having time off. I haven't planned that yet, but I'm definitely having time off, and celebrating just getting to the Games after the last 2 years.
It's all right, mate, we'll be fine, don't worry about it. What we're doing now then? But this is why I don't particularly like these other ones, because they're like, just be you, and I'm like, well, I can't, because you'll have no film. Beep, 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 beep. Hi, my name is... good day, that, wasn't it? Not bad at all.
Ollie Hill, all smiles. Come on, Ollie, come on, come on! Great Britain's first ever para snowboarding medal.
When I first went in, I thought they put the wrong pose. Hopefully they didn't love that year.
Yeah. The medal ceremony in China was, I think, a day or so after our event, and so we had some bevies that evening at the party that we made in the thing. And being one of the teammates, Owen, he's retired now, we got straight to work in the morning with his shaver razor jobby, and yeah, we come out with that.
Ollie Hill!
Yeah, that was quite funny actually. And then we had to go and do a load of interviews that day as well. That was funny.
Ollie, second Paralympic Games, what's going through your mind as you come here?
I've been happy to do a proper full cycle, you know, and have the ups and downs of what the last few years has brought. And yeah, obviously I've got some expectation of what I want to do and how I want it to finish. But yeah, it should be all right, mate. I'm always going to come out and leave nothing on the table, you know, is my plan. But dreams versus reality, two different things, aren't they? So we'll just have to wake up on the day and prep ourselves the best we can. But mate, we're all coming out swinging.
And you're a big personality on the team. People tell me you're one of the most outgoing extrovert athletes. How do you channel that on competition day? Because you're obviously very thoughtful behind the scenes about how you're going to do something, how you're going to put together your performance.
It helps we've got a good community. We've got a wicked community in para snowboarding. If there was a bunch of people we didn't get on with, then I wouldn't be so extroverted, would I? I'd just keep myself to myself. Believe it or not, it happens more often than you think, but it's nice to see all the boys and girls on tour, and you know, it's nice to hang out with everyone, and we have a good time, mate. We have fun. That's part of the reason why we need to be there and enjoy the moment, you know. Nothing lasts forever, does it? You don't want to look back on these moments just, you know, thinking that you've not made the most of all of that chance as well.
And is that what motivates you the most, that community, or is it the medals?
I joined for medals, and I've left with a community. We're all here to try and win. What's the point turning up otherwise, you know? Even if I come last place, I don't wake up that day going, oh, I'm going to come last today. Of course not, you know? So we're always trying to fight everything we can. But people are really good, eh? They're also really good at what they do. It makes it tough. Everyone's been putting in a lot of work. It makes it even tougher. But everything's on the cards, mate. It's more than possible.
Well, we're here for those big medals, those big moments.
They'll
Ollie,
come. They will come.
Good luck. Have a great game.
Thank you so much.
Scott, this is your third Paralympics. How do you think you've changed as an athlete over the course of the last 3 games?
You know, the first time you go to a Paralympics, it's like going to the circus. It's very overwhelming. There's lots to do, lots to see, lots of noise. My second Games experience was a bit different. It was China during the pandemic, so it was a bit of a lonely adventure.
And it's 6th place for Scott Mina. A respectable finish for the Brit.
I think third time round I'm very, very focused, relaxed, happy, but really clear about what I'm going there to do. In a sport like cross-country skiing, you can't turn up on game day not having done your homework. You know, I spent a lot of long hours, mainly alone, doing the hard yards. Something that gives me great motivation is that no one else gets to see those yards. You know, no one else is there. But on race day, it's your time to turn up, show everyone what you've got. There's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to hide. So your body, you have to ask yourself some big questions, and your character really gets stretched. You know, you have to see how far you're willing to push, because everything is saying, slow down. I'm unapologetically ambitious, you know, as a British athlete in a sport that, you know, on any given day we've got no right to be doing well in, but we are. We work very, very hard to do it. And then when I get on the snow, it's my chance to really express that and to represent my country as best I can.
And you're a father now. You've got some little people to answer to at home. Is that a big motivation too?
Massively. You know, becoming a dad's been a huge part of my athletic journey. You know, I've only ever been on the podium when I've had children.
Scott Mina 5 seconds in front of Yobo Kemetov, and Scott Mina of Great Britain should be enough for a medal.
I think that there's something to be said with that, the perspective, the resolve, just the drive that it gives you.
In second place, on silver medalist representing Great Britain, Scott Mina.
Every time I even think about my kids standing on the sidelines and Val de Fiemme watching me race in real life, like hearing them cheer for me, like I'm already getting fire in my belly about that.
Hello, Daddy.
Go, Daddy, go!
Go, Daddy, go!
And I think knowing that you're an advocate for your children, and my opportunity now is to leave a performance, leave a mark out there that shows my kids to be unapologetically ambitious about chasing dreams, like chase a big dream, no matter how mental it is. I think to leave that as any sort of legacy, you know, that's better than any gold medal you're ever going to get. But a gold medal would be very nice as well to go with it. But yeah, it's been a huge part of my motivation.
And when you think about what is to come in Milano Cortina, what does success look like for Scott this time around?
Success for me in Milano Cortina would be if I'm able to arrive happy, arrive and perform with clarity, and I know that on my day I can be as good as anyone in the world. So that's, for me, it's about clarity, happiness, consistency, and then anything can happen.
The outcome takes care of itself.
Massively.
Well, we're 100% behind you and supporting you all the way. Good luck in Cortina. We can't wait to see you race.
Thank you so much.